This is the Extra Point Podcast from Arizona's family.
All right, there's a new way to watch high school football in the great state of Arizona, and you don't have to watch just one game at a time. So what are we talking about? How does this work? And high school football season about to kick off. Are you excited? I know our next guest is James Poovey, who's going to bring this to us from the Epic Sports Network. So first of all, good to see you. How fired up are you for football season?
My friend Mark, we are so fired up for football. I can't even tell you. It's literally right around the corner, just a couple of days away. Things kick off for us on the Epic Sports Network this Thursday night. It's going to be the Santan Charter Roadrunners hosting the Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles. And we got a full season of football coming up on the Epic Sports Network. And Thursday night football is just a small part of that, Mark.
All right, so how many games are you showing on the Epic Sports Network? Just one game at a time you're broadcasting. You have a lot of other things in the plan, but you got a full schedule. So tell us about your full schedule you put together.
Yeah, well, we got 12 games on the slate this season. We're going to start things off, as I mentioned, out at Santan Charter. That's a two-way matchup. That starts this Thursday, August 17th. And then we're going to go every Thursday night up until November the 2nd when we've got an open date on our schedule, which we're going to probably feature girls flag football playoffs. They'll be in the throes of playoffs then. So that's going to be really good. We've also got 3 girls flag football games on our schedule as well this season. After we finish at Santan Charter, we go to Moon Valley at Thunderbird. We were out there for the Thunderbird Titans last season. Coach Nolet really has those guys playing well, so that's going to be a fun matchup, and that'll be the first time we're featuring the Moon Valley Rockets on our schedule. Ben Franklin at Eastmark is going to be the first girls flag football broadcast that I'm aware of, Mark, in history, especially in the state of Arizona. That's going to be the Ben Franklin Chargers at the Eastmark Firebirds. We're extremely excited for that one. We were able to get a Wednesday kickoff for that because they had a little bit of a conflict there with the Thursday night game for the boys, so that allowed us to get a 7 p.m. kickoff. So that game will be on a Wednesday night, August 30th. Again, Ben Franklin at Eastmark. We're really excited about that one. And then back to the fellas, Central at Dobson on September the 7th. Skyline at North Canyon up in the North Valley on September 14th. McClintock at Cienega. Once again, we're going down south to Pima County. We were there in 2021, the first year of Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Network, as they hosted the South Point Catholic Lancers. And that was when Elijah Rushing, you might have heard of that gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
He was a freshman that year, so he's really come on the scene the last couple of seasons. So McClintock at Cienega, that's on September 21st. And then we roll on back into the valley for another girls flag football game. We actually host a team from Pima County in the Marana Tigers coming up to face the Mountain Point Pride. So that's our second girls flag football game of the season. And then we got a really good one, Westwood at Cesar Chavez. That's on Thursday night, October 5th. That's going to be a fun one. We're our second time having the Westwood Warriors on, and we're looking forward to seeing the Cesar Chavez champions as well on that Thursday night in the first week of October. Then we go to October 12th. We got Santan Foothills at Chrisman. Chrisman, the Rattlers out there, a brand new high school football program out there in Queen Creek. They're playing in the 3A division. And one of the things we try to do, Mark, it's been part of our mission ever since we started the Epic Sports Network, is to really cover some teams that don't often get the coverage. Some of these teams you might be hearing here on the schedule, you say, hey, I had never even heard of that school. Santan Foothills, the SaberCats, they've been in action for a few years now as well. So that's part of our mission, is to feature some of these schools that maybe might not get some coverage otherwise. So we're pretty proud of that. We move on to Thursday night, October 19th, our final, or at least our final regular season girls flag football game of the year. That'll be the Canyon View Jaguars at the Desert Edge Scorpions. So that's going to be really fun. And then closing out the regular season of action for Thursday night football, it'll be the Trevor Brown Bruins at the South Mountain Jaguars. Coach Byron Evans over there really trying to reignite that program at South Mountain, and Coach Rangel doing a great job over there with the Bruins at Trevor Brown as well. So we're really excited about our Thursday night football slate this season.
All right, so tell us, how can people watch the Thursday night telecast?
They can jump on YouTube. It's available to watch free from anywhere on any device. Just simply search Epic Sports Network on YouTube, and that's exactly where you can find us.
All right, so the headlines for me are the smaller schools, and just Arizona high school football continues to grow, and the amount of kids here playing sports is just, it's really part of Arizona's growth story. But flag football girls flag football. I was talking to Danny White at one point, and I said, I think you're going to end up coaching girls flag football one day. I really do. I think he's going to be out at Mountain View coaching that. As we approach kind of this first season of girls flag football, what should we expect? What kind of football should we expect?
I think it's going to be pretty exciting brand of football, Mark. These ladies have had a couple of warm-up seasons, if you will, over the last year and a half or so, as they've started to really get this as an approved AIA-sanctioned sport. And so these girls have really been working hard, especially in the off season. They've had a couple of actual seasons to bond together as actual teams. And we had a chance to have a few of those teams out at our scheduled release party out at Epic Wings back in June. And these ladies came ready to go, and they're fired up and ready to play. So it's going to be some exciting football for sure. We're excited to have it on the Epic Sports Network.
All right, so flag football for the girls, Thursday night football for the fellas, and Friday nights. I mean, you're gonna try to just give us the idea of what you got cooked up for Friday nights. I don't want to spoil it. It sounds pretty cool.
Well, what we're going to do, Mark, a lot of you are familiar with what they do on Sundays on the NFL Network with Mr. Scott Hansen on the NFL Red Zone. We're going to bring that same thing to Arizona high school football. We're going to go all around the Grand Canyon State each and every Friday night and look in on some of these games being broadcast. We got a lot of great broadcasting outlets here in the state that really do a great job of covering our Arizona high school football athletes, and we're going to take advantage of that and take you all around the Grand Canyon State and looking on some of those games. We're going to feature sideline reports from our various media representatives throughout the state. And then we're also going to look in on some athletes who may be being recruited by Arizona colleges such as ASU and U of A, but not just ASU and U of A, also NAU, as well as Ottawa University out in Surprise and Arizona Christian University, because there's some great athletes playing there as well. And we're going to peek in on some of those guys who might have committed to one of those schools and are maybe wrapping up their senior season somewhere throughout the nation. So it's going to be a fun time this Friday, every Friday night here on the Epic Sports Network this fall.
All right, and when I first moved to Arizona, I grew up in Texas, and I was kind of a high school football. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Garland, actually.
Did you? You were an owl? Were you a Garland owl?
Berkner Rams.
Berkner
High School in Richardson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was right on that Garland-Richardson line there, so it was a pretty unique situation.
Did you ever play at the Garland Stadium? That was where my one of my seasons ended. We drove it from Houston, and we got beat like a drum by a real fast team from East Texas, Marshall, Texas. They ran the option, You were playing that stadium?
The Marshall Mavericks.
Yes, sir.
With that team. Yes, I know the Garland Owls very well. My dad and a lot of my family members graduated from Garland High School, so very familiar with Williams Stadium. It's called there in Garland, Texas. My friend.
Yes, I hate that place. But yeah, I mean, it was in the rain. It was just it was hard to do anything. We were just sliding around, and we drove all the way up from Houston. Why we played in Garland when we were from Houston? I don't know. Why did they move us to Garland to play a team from East Texas? But I digress. This is more about Arizona high school football than my high school football career.
Well, you know what I love about you, Mark, is you understand the importance and how Arizona high school football and high school football in general translates into the community. It's really a community event, as you can attest to in Texas, and it's really starting to kind of transition into that sort of thing out here in Arizona as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I've noticed. On Friday nights, I love going around. I love looking for the lights. It started for me in Medford, Oregon, covering high school football, in Spokane, Washington, and got here, like I was saying, in 06. And I remember watching Brophy play Hamilton, and Jarrell Robinson was playing. It was like, okay, they got some guys. And you saw Brett Hundley, and then, it's just more and more and more. And who was the ASU kicker that went to Alabama? And I think he might have he ended up going to ASU, and then he transferred. But he was like,
there's been so many.
Right.
Terrell Suggs. I mean, we could go on and on and on. And used to be, I moved here in the late 90s, 99 actually. And when I got here, Arizona high school football was not really on the map, you would say. But now, maybe there was one kid that would play Division I school football, but now you got 2 or 3 kids on a team that could possibly play Division I football. And you look at guys like Brock Purdy, now is invaluable for the San Francisco 49ers, a guy bouncing back from an injury like that. I mean, we're so proud of that guy.
Right. No, and that's exactly like there's just more and more, and it's just like Friday night football is so must see because there are so many guys and so many stories. So, I mean, what was the brainchild for this? How's it going to look on a Friday night as you try to go around the state and tell the whole story?
Well, it's really cool that the wonders of modern technology allow us to pull this thing off remotely. I'm going to be in a virtual studio, and then we just simply bring in the broadcast, and then we're going to have some special guests joining us as well throughout the season, maybe a couple of guest hosts as well throughout the season. So it's going to look pretty cool. We're going to have the split screen thing going on, maybe some quad view action. And as I mentioned, we're going to try to cover all divisions as well. So not just the Chandlers and Hamiltons, nothing against those guys, but, we're going to get around the state and cover some teams that maybe you haven't even heard of.
How do you have that many computers?
Well, it's actually the amount of logins that you have, but it's really it's the wonders of technology, Mark. It's all right there, and we're gonna take the bull by the horns and bring you more Arizona high school football than you can handle.
All right. So, where can people watch the Friday night? Are you calling it? What are you calling it? Are you calling it a red zone type deal?
We're calling it red zone. I wanted that to come across because I think it says it all. Exactly what we're going to do, take you all around. Simply subscribe to the Epic Sports Network on YouTube. It's going to be free to watch. And I just want you to come on, enjoy, and sit back and enjoy some high school football because let's face it, there's some nights where you're not able to get out, and there's a lot of good games, and it's hard to get around the valley. Everything's so spread out now, but I'm going to try to take you all around from the comfort of your own living room.
Yeah, we try to get around the valley too, and it's difficult. We need a chopper on Friday nights for our Varsity Zone segment. You have to pick and choose, and people still email the station, and that's fine because we really try.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
we'll see we'll have your show dialed up for sure. Big storylines headed into the high school football season. Which ones are you most interested in? And you got any games circled on the schedule?
There's a lot of exciting games coming up. I'm excited. There's been a lot of people transferring in and out of Arizona high school football in the offseason. I'm excited to see what Wyatt Horton's going to do now that he's got the full reins over there at Pinnacle High School. We knew he could do it before, but now he's got the full confidence to really take the reins of that football team. And there's just so many exciting storylines in Arizona high school football this season. I couldn't even begin to tell you all of them.
Yeah. No, we saw Wyatt Horton in the state championship game last year and really played his tail off, and we thought he was going to have to compete there for his job with Dylan Raiola, and Dylan Raiola's moved on to Georgia, and that's just the way that Arizona high school football works.
That's right.
What about girls flag football? Are there any storylines there you're watching? Have you been able to dig in, or are you still kind of getting this whole thing together?
Well, still kind of getting the whole thing together as far as girls flag football is concerned. But, there's some great folks like Miss Ray Black, for one, that are really out there championing the cause. Rex DeVries over there with the Fiesta Bowl. He's done some amazing things in the high school football space here in the last few months. So there's a lot of people championing that girls flag football cause, and we're just along for the party here at the Epic Sports Network. And we're excited to see. There's Caitlin Jewell is one of the bright stars of girls flag football here in Arizona. And there's so many I believe it's Moreno out there at Mountain Point. They also have a gunslinger there for girls flag football. So there's a lot of really talented ladies here in the state of Arizona.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to have our first set of girls football highlights on the show. I'm going to lose my mind.
That'll be Wednesday night, August the 30th. Ben Franklin at Eastmark.
Okay, so Wednesdays for flag football on the Epic Sports Network.
Wednesday night just for that game specifically.
Okay, but are most of the flag football games on Wednesday, the actual games you televise on Thursday, and then you go around the horn on Friday? Is that kind of the schedule?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
The girls are actually playing on Tuesdays and Thursday nights this fall. So there's plenty of girls flag football to catch. And if you're happen to be at one of the guys' games on Thursday nights, then you could catch one of the girls' games on Tuesday nights. So it's going to be really fun.
Awesome. Well, rest your voice. Before I let you go, does any tape exist of you at Berkner High School that we can find on YouTube? Anything we can watch?
Oh, boy. You know what? I don't know if there's anything at Berkner, but I did transfer over to Lake Hill Prep over at Mockingbird and Abrams, and I might be able to find something for you on that. I'll keep you posted. I'll dig up and see if we can find anything on YouTube for you.
Yeah, I think we need to kick off the season with a little look back, man. I think we
do.
Let's
do that. Okay. I'll see if I can find something for you, Mark.
Okay. I have me getting trucked a couple times. Maybe I'll put that up.
How about you? Yeah, we got to go mano-a-mano.
I got some good out routes. Yeah, if you want to see a good out route, I am your guy. That thing's like the precision is amazing.
And now set the scene for me here. This would be like 92, 93 for me. How about you?
This would be 94, 95.
Okay, so right about the same time frame.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. We were good junior year. We had 3 guys that went to Michigan, And then senior year, one of the guys that went to Michigan, a guy who could have gone to Texas, it just all fell apart. Everybody got injured. We went 3-7. I'm not over. I'm over it. I'm not over it at all. Yeah, I'm over
the
it.
Berkner High School claim to fame as far as the NFL started with Mr. Everson Walls.
Oh yeah,
was very familiar with the catch. He was
Yep.
the DB on that play there against Dwight Clark, and then Aqib Talib, also a former Berkner High School graduate.
There you go.
A couple NFL claims to fame there for the Ramily.
There you go. And you know what? I really feel like Arizona. I mean, I don't think it's Texas yet. You don't have the double-deck seat stadiums, but give this thing 20 years.
It's coming.
Yeah, it is. And I think you're doing a big. It's a big part of what you're doing is building up Arizona high school football. So hey, thanks for your time. Thanks for what you're doing, and we look forward to seeing you kick off the season here on Thursday.
Thank you for the time as well, Mark, and we'll catch you around the corner. Thank you, my friend.
The Extra Point Podcast is a production of 3TV, CBS5, and azfamily.com in Phoenix, Arizona.